restore independence and integrity, actually prosecute criminals, and provide care for the homeless. Together, we will restore our safety and security.
You're driving and out of nowhere, boom! You're hurt in a car accident.
We've recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for our clients.
Call us. We're the Law Brothers.
Call 1-800-222-2222. In Congress, George Whitesides will focus on solutions like increasing funding for police, and George Whitesides will invest in the equipment law enforcement needs. George Whitesides for safer neighborhoods. HMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Now at 4, Hurricane Milton's powerful outer bands are thrashing Florida, giving a hint of destruction to come. Landfall is expected within hours. Good afternoon. This is the Ktla 5 News at 4. I'm Lauren Lister.
And I'm John Finolio. Samantha has the day off. Damaging winds, powerful tornadoes, and flooding are hitting Florida hard.
And that is before Hurricane Milton, one of the most powerful on record in the Gulf of Mexico, even makes landfall.
KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us live from the newsroom with up-to-the-minute developments. MB.
Yes, hi there, John and Lauren. We are monitoring all the video and information that's coming into our newsroom as Hurricane Milton makes a potentially catastrophic march toward Florida. Now, let's take a look at Tampa right now, where conditions they are just worsening by the minute. Milton is about an hour away from making landfall, but its outer bands, as you can see, are already pummeling the west coast of Florida, and its wrath is being felt more widespread with each passing moment. Officials say the time for evacuating has passed. It's time now to shelter in place and brace yourself for what's expected to be one of the worst hurricanes in Florida's history. Torrential rains, threatening winds, and dangerous tornadoes have been whipping through the state throughout the day, leaving a trail of damage in its wake. 20 counties in the Sunshine State are under hurricane warnings. Where Milton will actually make landfall is still unclear. The National Hurricane Center says that's because the storm is wobbling a bit. It's been downgraded to a Category 3 storm, but authorities warn, make no mistake, this is still a very big and life-threatening storm. They say the entire Tampa Bay region and points south are still at grave risk. The Tampa Bay region, which is home to more than 3.3 million people, hasn't seen a direct hit from a major hurricane in more than a century. Milton coming just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene devastated widespread portions of the state. President Joe Biden spoke a short time ago and assured Floridians that the federal government is ready to help.
We've already approved emergency declarations for Florida. We have thousands of federal personnel on the ground. We've staged and are ready to go. We have 20 million meals, 40 million liters of water. At my direction, the Secretary of Defense, Austin, has pre-positioned search and rescue teams, helicopters, high water speed vehicles as close to the storm as possible, so they're ready to conduct life-saving missions.
Well, thousands have already lost power, and authorities expect millions more will lose power over the next 12 hours. Power lines will be downed and roads clogged with debris. Now, a big fear is the forecasted storm surges in some areas. They may get as much as 12 to 13 feet. Now, Naples and Fort Myers have already begun experiencing several feet of water, and values will increase quickly this evening as Milton makes landfall and the high tide rolls in. More than 4,000 flights have been canceled today and tomorrow at several Florida airports. Now, when it does hit land and plow across the state, it's expected to remain a hurricane as it heads eastward, and that includes making its way through the heavily populated and tourist destination of Orlando. Both Disney World and Universal have been shut down. Now we're going to continue to monitor the situation, and we are also expecting an update from Florida's governor very soon. We will see you back here at 5 o'clock. That's going to do it for me here in the newsroom. Mary Beth McDade, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, we'll check in with you in a bit, Mary Beth. Thank you.
All right, Kai, this is a monster storm, and that is an ominous image right behind you.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is the live look at Milton, the 5 Live Max Doppler, and the eye of the hurricane still just a little bit to the south of the Tampa area, Sarasota as well. The eye wall the southern section of the eye wall, well, it split apart a couple of hours ago, but it's starting to regain, unfortunately, its definition, its power. But it's these outer quadrants that are really, really strong. And we've seen video over the last few minutes of the water being sucked out of the Tampa Bay. And that's bad news because, again, that water's going to come surging back in. And that's why they're expecting to see surges of up to 12, 15, and 20 feet. And that's life-threatening. That is dangerous. We've seen a tremendous amount of tornadoes surrounding much of the state of Florida, from the northern portions of the state down to the central sections and the southern sections, where we are still looking at tropical storm warnings. Even in the city of Miami, tornado watches up and down the west coast of Florida right now until at least 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And this is still a very strong, dangerous hurricane, Category 3, gusts of up to 150 miles per hour, moving in a northeasterly direction at 15 miles per hour. Now landfall just under an hour away from now, about 5 o'clock here locally, West Coast time, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. And once we do see Milton making landfall, quickly deteriorating to a Category 1 hurricane into the central part of Florida, and eventually by late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and definitely by tomorrow afternoon out into the Atlantic as a tropical storm and eventually a depression. Here in Southern California, of course, we've got beautiful conditions. Your weekend forecast just minutes away. Back to you.
All right, Kai, thank you for that. Back here locally, an investigation is underway into a deadly plane crash on Catalina Island. Flight path animation from FlightAware shows the twin-engine Beechcraft 95 taking off from Santa Monica Airport around 6 p.m. yesterday. It headed for the Catalina Airport, where it did safely land. Shortly after 8, it took off again to return, but went down within seconds. We have a live report with the latest on the investigation coming up at 4:30.
Torrance police are investigating the death of a 1-month-old baby who was bitten by a dog. The call came into police just after 12:30 yesterday afternoon. Officers responded to the 2700 block of Martha Avenue, where they found the injured child. The baby later died at a hospital. Torrance Animal Control took possession of the dog. Still a lot of questions as to who owned that animal and why it got so close to that baby.
Another hidden camera has been found in the front yard of a home, this time in Arcadia. It was found in the bushes near Highland Oaks Drive and Virginia Avenue. The discovery was made by a local resident out walking his dog. Police say it was pointing toward nearby homes. They say the camera is part of a scheme used by burglars to monitor neighborhood homes to find out when residents come and go. Other hidden cameras have been found outside homes in Alhambra, Chino Hills, and Garden Grove.
All right, the Dodgers are fighting for survival tonight in San Diego as they face elimination in Game 4 of the National League Division Series.
San Diego leads the boys in blue 2-1 in the best-of-5 series. A loss tonight would end the Dodgers season. KTLA's Rashawn Haylock joins us live from Petco Park in San Diego with more. How can they do this? How can they pull it off, Rashawn?
There's still time, right?
There is still a whole game.
There is definitely still time, but they need some arms. They got to get some good pitching, got to get some timely hitting as well. Dodgers, as you mentioned, on the brink of elimination. Look, they're going home after this game tonight regardless, so the hope is they'll be returning home for a Game 5 to be played on Friday. But as you know, anytime you get to this time of year, the margin for error is incredibly small, and it's even slimmer when you think about the status of the Dodgers starting pitching. And last night, it all came down to one bad inning. It was that 6-run second inning manufactured by the Padres, in which Walker Buehler described as quite mayhem. Manny Machado using his body to break up a double play. You had weak contact leading to runners getting on for the Padres, but Dave Roberts is optimistic, in part